Greetings, ponies and Pegasus. This is the Watchful pony here, and welcome back to Watchful's Watchings. And for today's episode, looks like we're going to be getting the return of Maud Pie. Talk about a character that completely skyrocketed in popularity in the fandom. This is a character that could have just as easily been as dull as a rock. No pun intended, of course. And instead, her dry sense of humor has won over the fandom almost completely. She also never overstays her welcome, as her appearances are kept to a bare minimum. But we'll see how Maud Pie fares when she not only has to actually make a friend, but has to deal with her sister Pinkie Pie. Yeah, we'll get to that in just a second. For now, let's take a look at Rock Solid Friendship. See, that's why I said no pun intended. The episode did it for me. Our episode begins with Maud Pie getting her Rockdurin? Am I saying that right? I apologize to all my Rock University alumnus. You have a very hard thing to pronounce. And now it appears that since Maud has graduated, she wants to now settle down somewhere else so she can study rocks. However, even though Pinkie Pie wants her to come to Ponyville, she's thinking about going to Ghastly Gorge instead. But if Pinkie Pie can find Maud Pie a friend, she'd be willing to stay. And Pinkie Pie does her best to make this as uncomfortable as possible. Okay, yeah, let's talk about this. Everyone's been talking about how absolutely insufferable Pinkie Pie is in this episode, and unfortunately, I can kinda see where they're coming from. And before anyone says anything, no, I'm not gonna call Pinkie Pie out of character. Quite frankly, she's not out of character. This is actually very in line with Pinkie Pie's character. This would be something Pinkie Pie would do. The problem is they go way overboard with it. And yes, I know Pinkie Pie has good intentions behind this. It doesn't make it any more tolerable. I understand focusing on a character's flaws is something that has to be done every once in a while, but this is probably Pinkie Pie's worst trait. And this goes beyond simply just showing a character's flaws. This is full-blown exaggeration. And it almost hits a little too close to home. I mean, I'm sure we've all had this friend where, hey, you guys are friends, why don't you go meet up? But then they force the friendship so much that you just want to strangle them and say, shut up, just let us be friends on our own, stop trying to force it. Yeah, that's Pinkie Pie right now. And with all that being said, I don't hate Pinkie Pie in this episode. Yeah, I'm not even joking, despite my little rant, I don't hate her. Don't get me wrong, first time I viewed it, I would have probably been right there with the Pinkie Pie detractors. But upon repeated viewings, something hit me. I realized something. This was the Philly Vanilli Pinkie Pie debacle done right. Yeah, think about it. Pinkie Pie being overly annoying yet still in character, doing nothing but procreating problems. The similarities are pretty strong there. However, this episode gets it right where that episode got it wrong. What do I mean by that? Well, for one, Pinkie Pie obviously gets called out for her actions, and for two, she obviously shows remorse and tries to make things right. Whereas in Philly Vanilli, yeah, she does eventually get called out, but continues to try and make Fluttershy cry unintentionally. But also more importantly, Pinkie Pie actually ties into the theming of the episode. In Philly Vanilli, her actions actually did not tie into the theming at all, and would have benefited from actually being cut, as opposed to leaving them in and only making the episode worse by not only making Pinkie Pie look bad, but just coming right the hell out of nowhere. However, here, her actions actually tie into the episode and serve a purpose. So on the whole, while I can definitely see why people would have a problem with it, I can't discredit the episode for it. Not to mention there's more than enough in entertainment value for me to not hate the episode, and that primarily focuses around Maud Pie and Starlight Glimmer. These two make the episode. I absolutely love the chemistry between these two characters. They work off each other perfectly and honestly have a great chemistry as friends. That's one of the reasons I put up with Pinkie Pie is because I know they're going to become friends at the end and I want them to become friends. But even without Starlight Glimmer, Maud as always absolutely kills it. I seriously cannot stop praising Ingrid Nielsen for her performance. As far as I'm concerned, Ingrid Nielsen is Maud Pie. There's a reason why she's become one of the most beloved attendees at any convention ever. It's because she's amazing. And this is one of those episodes that shows it, as she has to demonstrate great amounts of dry humor and unintentional humor. Yeah, I'm aware the writing would have something to do with that as well, but that's only half the equation. Ingrid Nielsen's performance is the other half, which is a very good half. But speaking of which, that's the other thing I can compliment this story on, is that it has great comedy. Through most if not all the episode, I was laughing and chuckling all the way. Heck, even as annoying as Pinkie Pie got, she still got a laugh out of me every once in a while. Like when she had to deliver pizza, that was probably one of the best jokes in the episode. But if I had to pick a favorite joke, it would definitely have to be when Maud Pie helps Starlight Glimmer enslave the whole town. That I actually find to be a great play on continuity, adding something new to the lore of the story while at the same time not contradicting or retconning it. It's also nice to see character development on both Maud Pie and Starlight Glimmer. We get a much bigger glimpse into Starlight's character. Apparently she likes kites. Interesting character trait. And once again, that's nice because we do need more character development for Starlight. Looks like my little theory at the beginning of the season is turning out to be correct, where every other episode's gonna be Starlight Glimmer focused, or at the very least include her in a large portion. But yeah, that's pretty much all I have to say. I'm not even joking, this was honestly pretty much a straightforward episode, so there's not a whole lot for me to analyze or review. Despite Pinkie Pie in this episode, which again I didn't have much of a problem with, I don't really have a lot to say about it. So I suppose getting to the final point, I love Maud and Starlight's chemistry, I love the comedy. If Pinkie Pie was a tiny bit downplayed, I would have absolutely adored this episode, but as it is, I still really enjoyed it. So much so that I'm gonna give it a 4.5 out of 6. It was almost there, but still really enjoyable regardless. Sorry for a shorter review this episode, but again, it was pretty straightforward. I promise next review I'll try to make up to you guys. So until next time, I'm the Watchful Pony, and this is Why Brony. I'll see you guys next time.
What is this weird show? It's like the only thing you know. You talk about it every day. You know this is child's play. Your path ahead is blurred, told to go join in on the herd. You know this show's for younger crowds. How can you say you're proud? Now think, brony, think. Everything in here is pink. You spend your precious time, now you're walking a fine